Hi to everyone. I am Dr. VNS Venkateswarao, working as Associate Professor in the Department of Chemistry, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad, 543. So, today I would like to give the topic on the introduction to the green chemistry and definition of the green chemistry and what are the methods involved in the green synthesis, nothing but aqueous phase method and microwave method. So, first of all, we see what are the topics involved in the today's section. So first one, nothing but introduction to the green chemistry. Next, we see definition of green chemistry. After that, importance of green chemistry. Next, we see principle of green chemistry. Next, benefits of green chemistry and green synthesis. So this is about the topics involved in today's section. So first of all, we see green chemistry. That means green chemistry is also called as sustainable chemistry. That means it is very need to give the future generations towards the best future or nature. So that's why it is our responsibility. That's why for the purpose we use the green chemistry. So that's why it is also called as sustainable chemistry. So it is an area of chemistry and chemical engineering focused on the design of the products and processes that minimize or eliminate the use and generation of the hazardous substances. That means the main goal is the green chemistry is to in order to reduce or completely eliminate the formation of the toxic compounds or hazardous compounds. That means while environmental chemistry focus on the effects of the polluting chemicals on the nature, and green chemistry focuses on the environmental impact of the chemistry. So that is the main difference between the environmental chemistry and green chemistry. So environmental chemistry focus on the effects of the polluting chemicals on nature, whereas green chemistry focus on the environmental impact of the chemistry. That means including reducing consumption of the non-renewable resources and technological approaches for the preventing pollution. Okay, next, green chemistry is the design of the chemical products and processes that reduce or eliminate the user generation of hazardous substances. That means green chemistry applies across the life cycle of the chemical product, including its design, manufacture, use, and ultimate disposal. That means Paul Antas and John C. Warner co-author the groundbreaking book, that is nothing but green chemistry book, and it involves the both theory and practice in 1998. It involves mainly totally 12 principles of the green chemistry. Outlined with this work declared a philosophy that motivated academic and industrial scientists at the time and continues to guide the green chemistry movement. So this is the importance of this green chemistry book. And green chemistry is an approach to design, manufacture, and use of chemical products to internally reduce or eliminate the chemical hazards. That means the goal of green chemistry is to create better, safer chemicals while choosing the safest, most efficient ways to synthesize them and to reduce the wastes. That means the current solvent viewed as the most environment bringing supercritical carbon dioxide remains a possibility that can be explored in organic synthesis. That means green chemicals either degrade to innocuous products or are recovered for further use. That means plants and animals suffer less harm from the toxic chemicals in the environment. That means lower potential for global warming, ozone depletion, and smog formation. All of these comes under category of the to destroy the nature. That means less chemical disruption of the ecosystems. That means the idea of the green solvent implies to reduce the environmental impact resulting from its use in chemical processes. That means in this sense, water can be considered as a potentially green solvent since it is non-toxic to the health and environment. That means with the water there is no problem either domestic or industrial purpose, and it is very helpful to the our human health. That's why it is considered as a green solvent. Water is an environmentally vegan solvent. It also has special properties useful in chemical and biochemical reactions. That means the hydrophobic effect can lead to the altered selectivities and rate accelerations. That means the hydrophobic effect was also used to determine the geometries of transition states for some important reactions. That means DMF, nothing but dimethyl fluoride, and DMC, dimethyl carbamate, and NMP, nitromethylpyridine, are aprotic and are toxic. Hence, the grain alternative are to be made. That means few of its alternative are acetonitrile, methanol, methyl ethyl ketone, 1-butanol, tertiary butyl methyl ether, triethylamine, and toluene. So this is about the 12 principles of the green chemistry. So first one, nothing but waste prevention, and second one, atom economy, and third one, less hazardous chemical synthesis, and fourth one, designing safer chemicals, and fifth one, safer solvents and auxiliaries, and sixth one, design for energy efficiency, and seventh one, use of renewable feedstocks, and eighth one, reduce derivatives, ninth one, catalysis, and tenth one, design for degradation, and 11th one, real-time pollution prevention, and 12th one, safer chemistry for accident and prevention. That means by using these 12 principles of the chemistry, we get a sustainable environment. That means we give the sustainable life toward the future generations. So for the purpose, these 12 principles are very, very important, and these are derived from the green chemistry book. Previous slide we can discuss about these 12 principles of the green chemistry. So, what are the benefits of green chemistry? First one, human health. That means we get a cleaner air. That means less release of the hazardous chemicals to air, leading to less damage to the lungs. And cleaner water. Less release of the hazardous chemical waste to water, leading to cleaner drinking and recreational water. And increased safety for workers in the chemical industry. Less use of the toxic materials, less personal protective equipment required, and less potential for the accident. For example, fires and explosions. And safer consumer products of all types. New safer products will become available for purchase. Some products, example drugs, will be made with less waste. Some products, nothing but pesticides, cleaning products, will be replacements for the less safe products. That means safer foods. Elimination of persistent toxic chemicals that can enter the food chain. Safer pesticides that are toxic only to specific pests and degrade rapidly after use. And less exposure to such toxic chemicals as endocrine disruptors. And what are the benefits to the environment? That means many chemicals end up in the environment by international release during use. By example, pesticides in the area of the crops, by unintended releases, including emissions during manufacturing, or by disposal. That means green chemicals either degrade to innocuous products are the recovered for further use. That means plants and animals suffer less harm from the toxic chemicals in the environment, and lower potential for global warming, ozone depletion, and smog formation, and less chemical disruption of the ecosystems, and less use of the landfills, especially hazardous waste landfills. So this is about the benefits of the green chemistry. Next we see green synthesis. So green synthesis, nothing but the methods which are based on the green chemistry, that comes under category of the green synthesis, are green chemical methods. So solvents represent a major source. Nearby 80 to 90% of the pollution in organic and not only chemical processes. So conventional organic solvents derived from oil are toxic and possess bad health, environmental, and safety impacts. That means so the solvents to be used as green media for organic synthesis need to possess biodegradability. That means lower toxicity, high boiling point, easily recyclable, and non-miscible with water. So these are the main problems involved in the organic solvents. So upon these conditions, the water and ionic liquids, ILs nothing but ionic liquids, and polyethylene glycols, this is abbreviated as PEGs, and some supercritical fluids. That means ILs means ionic liquids, and PEGs means polyethylene glycols, and SC fluids. SC means supercritical fluids. Supercritical fluids are most appropriate. So that means chemistry plays an important role to develop our quality life and achieving sustainability on the earth. That means all over the world using advanced knowledge to develop new synthetic conditions like aquaspace, solvent-free, microwave-induced, etc. These are produced pollution-free environment. So that means we see Yeah, environmental pollution is mainly caused by the organic solvent. So now all over the world have been trying to carry out organic reactions in aqueous phase in order to get the sustainable environment. So that means the advantages of using water as a solvent flow, that is mainly first one low cost, second one non-flammable, and third one the avoid of the any carcinogenic effects, and fourth one high specific heat resistance, and fifth one unique enthalpic and entropic properties, and final one sixth one is nothing but easily handling. So these six are the advantages of a used as a aqueous phase method. And what is the example for aqueous phase method? Nothing but Liouville reactions. So the condensation of the carbonyl compounds with active methane compounds in the presence of weak base like ammonia, imine, pyridine is known as a Liouville reactions. That means we see the reaction alkyl carbonyl compound aldehyde reacts with the malonic acid in the presence of a base to eliminate the carbon dioxide. That means one of the important toxic compound, and finally to give a product. So this is mainly by the aqueous phase media. And we see the second example, nothing but it involved the water medium between aromatic aldehydes and acetonitrile. Previously, we see aliphatic aldehyde. At present, we see aromatic aldehyde. So, in this aromatic aldehyde, we take an example of the salicylic with malonitrile to give the with the elimination of the toxic compounds to get 3 cyanocumulines. So, it is nearby 75 to 95 percentage. And in recent years, aqueous phase systems has become a proven tool used in the separation and purification technology. So this is the best application of aqueous phase method, and another application of aqueous phase method in clarification, partitioning, and partial purification of biomolecules and byproducts had showed the rapid development. This is about the applications of aqueous phase method. Next, we see microwave method. What is the microwave? So first of all, microwave have the wavelength range from 1 centimeter to 1 meter. 1 centimeter to 1 meter in the electromagnetic spectrum, and are located between the infrared and radio or radar frequencies. That means first of all we see what is the electromagnetic spectrum. Electromagnetic spectrum, it is the spectrum which produces the electromagnetic waves or radiations. What is the electromagnetic wave or radiation? The radiation which contains both electrical and magnetic properties. One is perpendicular to another one. So that is nothing but the electromagnetic radiation. Our microwave comes under category of the electromagnetic radiation, and which is lies between the infrared and radio frequencies. That means the energy of the microwaves is too low to directly activate or break the molecular bonds. That means microwaves therefore cannot induce the molecules to undergo chemical reactions by direct absorption of energy in the way that higher energy visible and ultraviolet light can in any photochemical reactions. That means generally the microwaves present after the infrared regions. Before infrared radiations, what is the electromagnetic spectrum? Nothing but visible radiations. Visible radiations means violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. That means from violet to red, what happens? The wavelength will be increases. Wavelength means lambda. That means when wavelength increases, according to Planck's quantum theory, what is the equation? E is equal to h mu. E is equal to h mu. That means h into c by lambda. Mu is right by c by lambda. That means E is inversely proportional to lambda. That means when wavelength increases, the energy decreases. That means the microwaves having the low energy radiations. So microwaves therefore cannot induce the molecules to undergo chemical reactions by direct absorption of the energy in the way that higher energy visible and ultraviolet light can in the photochemical reactions. That means the main purpose of the microwaves is used for heating purpose. That means according to Planck's quantum law, E is equal to h nu. That means the quanta energy involved can be evaluated to 0.3 calories per mole. That means this energy is too low to indicate a molecule for extraction of any reaction. That means the main source to exposure ahead under microwaves is microwave interactions. So polar molecules can involve in selective absorption of the electromagnetic waves, but non-polar molecules are being emitted to the microwaves. So this is purely depends upon the properties of the microwave. So first of all, the microwaves comes under category of the electromagnetic radiation. That means the radiation containing both electrical and magnetic properties which are perpendicular to one another. So because of this condition, only polar molecules are can involve the selective absorption of this electromagnetic waves, but non-polar molecules are insensitive to this microwave radiations. That means in the absence of electric field, the dipoles are oriented randomly. In the presence of electric field, the dipoles are oriented in same direction. So this is the main reason it involves the electromagnetic radiations. So it is clean, economical, efficient, and safe procedure which can lead to substantial saving in the money, time, and products. That means it gives better yields, and unlike conventional method for heating the reaction, it is possible to activate processes by physical methods such as ultrasonic sounds, pressure, or microwaves. So this is about the advantages of a microwave method. And the reactions can be carried out under microwaves method whether in solvent medium or non-solvent medium. That means limited reactions in solvent medium and most of the reactions in solvent free medium. So now we see the types of the microwave reactions. So first one, microwave solvent free reactions, nothing but solid state reactions. So solvent free technique hold a strategic position as a solvent is very often toxic, expressive, and problematic to use and to remove. That means it is the main reason for the development of such modern technologies. That means these approaches can also enable experiments evading the use of strong safety and pollution problems. That means these acids can be replaced by solid recyclable acids such as clays. That means already we discussed about microwave solvent free reactions. So that means the solvents are replaced by the solid recyclable acids, nothing but clays. That means clays are evaded by the solvent free reactions. That means this type of the reactions are also known as solid state reactions. So that means this is about the example in the presence of neutral ammonia at microwaves 40 seconds to give a carbonyl compound. That means benzaldehyde. And second type, nothing but microwave assisted with inorganic solvents. That means microwaves have been used for synthesis of chalcones and related enones in the presence of organic solvents. We see benzaldehyde reacts with the acetophenone. Both are the carbonyl compounds in the presence of base to give chalcones, and its percentage nearby 90 to 100 percentage. And the last type, third one, microwave assisted reactions in aqueous phase. These are called as Hoffman elimination reactions. That means in normal method, quaternary ammonium salts are heated at high temperature and yield of products is very low. That means use of microwave irradiation has lead to high yielding synthesis of thermal sensitive Hoffman elimination product in water chloroform system. That means it is nothing but the quaternary ammonium salts. Quaternary ammonium salts in the presence of water with chloroform, and microwaves used per minute and to give a final product, and its yield is nearby 97% of the yield. So this is about the advantages of a microwave assisted reactions in aqueous phase, and these are also called as Hoffman elimination reactions. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.